Okay, so here we are again at the Salem State College Glassworks studio. I'm Professor John Volpacchio, and I'm just going to talk briefly about a project we did this spring for the college. They commissioned me and my sculpture class, Glass Art 300, to create a replica of a glass Harley Davidson motorcycle for Jay Leno, the comedian, who was part of our speaker series. So the motorcycle, this was the first prototype. I don't have the one I gave him. We presented it to him in April, but the prototype came out pretty good. This was the first one. And this one was a rough version of what we did, but we started out with the clear crystal from our furnace, and we made the motorcycle out of 45 to 50 parts. So each part was separate and sculpted by hand by me, and the students and my assistant, Jeff Mentuck, brought over the parts. Some of them were semi-sculpted, some of them were molten and hot. But on this particular one, we started from the wheel, and then we realized that was a mistake because it was off balance too much when we added all the parts. So the motorcycles we made, the actual motorcycle we gave to Jay Leno was the 5th one that we did. We did one each week for 5 weeks. And again, it had 45 to 50 parts. And that one we started from the center and built up from the carburetor to the seat. The wheels were prefabricated moments before we started the actual motor section, so we stored the wheels in the garage oven, which is back in that far corner, and that's maintained at 900 degrees Fahrenheit. So the wheels are done ahead of time. We built the engine, we built the seat, we put the gas tank on, and all the details. We left out the mirrors and a couple of tail lights and stuff like that, but in general I think it came out pretty good. We made 45 parts again, and the most delicate parts, this is the motorcycle we gave to Jay. The most delicate part was the handlebars, and the handlebars were done last. So again, when you're working with glass, it's like a painting. You want to do the backdrop, you want to do the rough in first, and then you start to get into the details. Because if you're doing the details first and then you expose it to the 2,000-degree heat, you'll lose the details. So again, maintaining control and understanding what the different temperatures are key to executing the process successfully. So the students, as glass sculpture students, have done it before, so they have a certain amount of skill where they can bring me the shapes I want if I guide them. And our control level was pretty good. On the 5th one, it was better than the first one. So each piece you make, whether it's a glass motorcycle in this case or anything, should be instructional and you can learn from it. So by doing multiples of the same object, we learned from each piece, and they didn't necessarily get better 1 through 5. The 5th one did turn out the best, but the 3rd one came out better than the 2nd one, and the 5th one came out better than the 4th one. So if I were to continue doing these types of pieces with 45 or 50 parts, I would try and assemble a team of students that had done it with me before, so that the communication, which is a big part of the process, would go more smoothly. So again, if you're doing the same thing with the same people over again, a lot of times just eye contact or them understanding what you're about to do will make the whole process go more smoothly. So again, in this situation where you're dealing with 2,000-degree glass, if it gets too cold, it can crack. If it gets too hot, it's going to melt and change shape. So it was very challenging, and it was very rewarding, because when you do something challenging and it works, you feel like you've succeeded at something. And I think Jay Leno understood the difficulty that was involved, and 2 students, Chris Jones and Michelle Pesinas, came with me and presented it to him, so they got to meet Jay Leno. And he was very down to earth and appreciative of our efforts to personalize his visit to Salem State College. So hopefully we'll continue to do these types of projects in the future.